Jefferson climbs the ladder. Oh my goodness! Come
on! Welcome one, welcome all. I just spent an hour in traffic for a 14-minute drive, but I am here for the 3 p.m. show for Summer League. Kurt, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Traffic, aka pooped all over his keyboard. Let's be honest here. I mean, it's okay. Look, we all poop our pants sometimes, you know. But nevertheless, you pick winners, so we forgive you.
Oh yeah, not sure where that came from, but all right. A 6-game slate tonight should be good. I really like this slate for value purposes. We have a lot of teams here that are going to be resting guys, and some key news with like Jaden Hardy. You know, he is now out of the Summer League. We got Agbaji news that he's in. What's the news with Conte George? He's out, right, Kurt?
Yeah, so the injury's going to keep him out is what I last heard from a pretty good source. He's looked good, so I don't see a point. I mean, the injuries, I think it's some type of sprain. I think he sprained something. But, yeah, not enough to play on, especially for Summer League. So we got the studs besides him, which is kind of nice to know out the gate. Like, obviously, we assumed Agbaji would play, but just knowing for sure that he's going to play is really nice to know. It's comforting for a little bit.
100%. Yeah, that's good to know. We got a bunch of studs up top. Florence, Kentucky area is a nightmare. It absolutely is, yeah, especially when it's a Friday afternoon. Turned my trip to Erlanger into 40 minutes. Jason Graham knows what I'm talking about. No bucket hat is bad mojo, Rubio. I will say, yesterday was no bucket hat. And our boy Bobby, well, maybe that was bad mojo with the stat correction at 3 a.m. Maybe that was bad mojo. I'll give you that one. It'll do, fam. But yeah, Kurt, I know you wanted to touch on the early slate real quick between a couple games. Go ahead and touch up on that while I look it up.
Yeah, so we had a guy in here that was kind of mad that we didn't mention it. So today it's a 2-gamer, pretty easy to kind of talk about. The OKC, I think you want to look at the rotation similar to the Rockets rotation. I think those guys, Chet played another game, and it was to kind of give him the last chance to go out and then shut these guys down. So we're going to stack OKC again, obviously. We want the starters. I think one surprising thing is I think Cason Wallace might join the list of guys setting. We saw Ty Washington randomly added to the roster, I think, this morning. So that kind of like alerts bells in my head, like, okay, why would they just randomly add Ty for the last game unless they want – because they probably would need another guard to like be able to facilitate some type of offense if they do set Cason. So I kind of think that maybe Cason has a chance to sit because of that signing.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, especially the OKC news. Luckily, they're the first game, so we'll have all the news in our Discord. Code SUMMER33 for 33% off your first payment. I know that MLB is back, so you also get that included with your subscription. Any of these other teams that you're thinking about news-wise that could come in on this early slate?
I think Johnny Davis plays for Washington, so I think him and Bilal Kalabi are probably good plays. So yeah, just nothing really. I don't think nothing changes for them. For the Clippers, I do think the Clippers might have some. They kind of do a little bit of stuff weird at the end last year, like the randomly set Preston and stuff. So I do think we'll want to monitor these Clippers. I think Diabate could possibly be back, and then I think maybe Preston and Moon don't play today. Just like a 30-40% chance. For Philadelphia, I think Springer sets. We saw Petrushev got basically the lock from coach, the old Raptors coach. Can't remember his name, but they said that Petrushev earned a spot on the roster, so he might not play today. I still think there's a 20% chance he plays, despite locking up that roster spot. So I think if you do want to play Petrushev, I'm leaving salary today on a lot, honestly. But play Petrushev, and then obviously when we confirm that Brown's starting, you just swap right back down to Brown, just to kind of have that leeway to get weird if Petrushev does randomly start, and Brown's one of the DMPs today.
Yeah, Mario Don Yeezy. Yes, we absolutely keep printing. I know you've been doing great, Don Yeezy. Steve's in the chat as well. This is going to be an awesome slate, especially in the early section. I'm with you. Jaden Springer, the Philadelphia 76ers on a back-to-back. We can expect news there. So, yeah, it's just one of those slates where you say you're leaving salary. It's going to be a lot of fun. I swear.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of ways you can get different, which is cool.
Yes, 100%, 100%. Let's go ahead and move on to the main slate here. It is 6 games, Kurt. We'll make sure not to make a mountain out of a molehill with the slate, so we'll try and keep it short and sweet on each of these games. But the first one It is a 6:30 tip, and it is Boston Celtics, your Boston Celtics, going against the New York Knicks. How are you handling that first game between the Celtics and Knicks?
I don't really love it, to be honest. I really wish Banton was in the player pool because I feel like they probably would have made him like 5.3. But yeah, Banton debuted last game. I think he starts again and gets up a lot of shots, making this Boston rotation a little tricky. Davison wants the ball in his hand. Champagnie wants to chuck. Banton wants to chuck. They obviously are in Jordan Walsh's ear saying, look, this is the time you need to be aggressive on offense because you're basically just going to be a defender when you get up to the big leagues. So it's clear that they're wanting him to be aggressive. So that makes 4 guys that are going to get up a lot of shots. They're starting to eat into each other a little bit. I know they all got their last game, but at what point do they just kind of not is my only concern. So hopefully maybe someone sets, but I doubt it. And I think I'll just kind of start eating each other and they just become like 20 max plays only. I just don't see how you can, with all of them eating each other, I don't see how you can confidently say, okay, yeah, no, it's going to be this guy that makes his shots. They're lying.
Yeah, I will say, like, the minutes are the most appealing part, though. And a lot of these guys got 30 minutes last game. And even a guy like Banton, who is he even in the pool, Kurt? I don't think Banton.
Geez, Rubio, do you never listen to what I say? No, he's not in the pool. I predicted they would have added him late and made him like 5.3. Don't you think they would do that?
It would have been nice. It definitely would have been. And he kind of threw a wrench into that rotation, like you were saying.
I mean, at these prices, like if Banton was not in the situation, I'd be wanting like probably 2, you know? Like, because Bean would still be at least decent with floor. We saw Bean's floor just go when Banton got back. So Bean's completely out of play now. Bean, not Bean. But
yeah, I will say this, though. When looking at the Celtics last game, they had 85 shots. So that 95 points is probably something that'll kind of maintain. Obviously, Walsh went absolutely off last game. He hit the glass hard. Every single bit of that last 4 minutes was all Walsh. And he took the most shots on the team as well. Banton was a huge contributor to those 85 shots with 19 of them. I wonder if those gets dispersed out. Obviously, he's not in the slate, but I really like Champagnie. And even a guy like J.D. Davison, who doesn't really need to shoot. He showed it last game with 11 points, 11 boards, 6 assists. If there's anyone who's capable of getting a triple-double in the summer league, it's definitely Davison.
I didn't mention Jay Scrubb. Jay Scrubb's shooting 15 times too. So it's like all these guys, man. Obviously, if I had to choose, I'm probably going to go like Champagnie and Davison if you want to spend up, but probably Champagnie just because he is really ultra aggressive. But yeah.
So what's your interest on the New York side of things with a kind of a wacky rotation a little bit? I think Charlie Brown is the top projected guy for me here, but then a backcourt rotation that is just gross.
It's very, very bad. Like I said, I think Charlie Brown's fine. Fine floor play. I'm going to be underweight on the field. I know that for sure. The guy, for a 2-minute overtime, was very productive in the overtime last game. Just them being chalk last night was really annoying. The QJ Peterson getting up 18 shots in 24 minutes is very appealing to me if he was to start. Anyone that can get up like that many shots in 24 minutes and go for 37, it feels a little bit chasey, but they're looking for someone like this. There's the Marcus Garrett. They're not giving Marcus Garrett a lot of run, or I would obviously like him. It's probably just a stay away, to be honest, but I am kind of intrigued by the Peterson dude.
Real quick, I also wanted to bring up some props here, not only from the early games, but also as the games we go along. If you guys want to sign up, we have underdog props here. We also have a prize pick chat as well. But if you use code RUNPEER, there's a $100 deposit match up to $100. So basically just code RUNPEER, sign up for underdog. I'm going to throw this one out at you because you think that the Oklahoma City Thunder sit. Keontae Johnson, if starting, have the quick finger to go 21.5 PRA over, right?
Yeah, so I said in the playbook, I think this could be Keontae's ceiling game. I think we could see he's already looked pretty good, but I think we could probably see a key 40 burger here. He's just a very productive guy, and then I would like to see he's not had the chance to start yet, which is kind of mean on their part. But he's played 25 minutes every single game, even the games that the big dogs have played. So this could be Key's day.
Yeah, 100%. I also like one right here, too. And Johnny Davis, he's bound to kind of explode in one summer league game, right? 23.5.
And that's so low. I was just looking at that. That's really low.
Perfect. I don't think any of these Celtics ones look too appealing right now. Jordan Walsh, 23.5. That seems about right. Got a question in the chat right here, just a little bit about Bal Sorowski, that center, that big man for the Celtics. Any interest? I think he's like 5K. That's not too bad at all.
Yeah, they're both splitting the minutes right down the middle. I like the kid, but it's 6-game slate, man. It's 6-game slate, and like I don't want a guy splitting center minutes. I want a guy with maybe can go for like 28 and 30, and he's just not. He's going to be below 22 minutes every single time. On a 4-gamer, it would probably interest me more, but can't do it on a 6-gamer.
Yeah, and there'll be some more game theory down the road too, especially with Miami Heat. We'll go ahead and move on to the Indiana Pacers and Dallas Mavericks. A really good game to target for DFS purposes because you look at it here. Obviously, we saw it with Indiana Pacers. They were super chalk last game. I think they're going to be chalk again. I didn't really love the minutes that were out there, though, Kurt. Like, Wong felt really lucky to explode as much as he did, despite getting only 25 minutes, really. I was kind of hoping it would be higher 20s, lower 30s. And then I'm looking down here, like, Woodard, he's not a terrible shot for 4.3K. But like you said, there's a lot of value on this slate. I think the main value to focus on, or the main plays, is guys like Taze Moore and Mike Miles Jr. as well. Those are the two guards that are absolutely popping on the point per dollar for me. What's your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it was kind of shitty to see Wong only play 24. I thought he's looked good out there. I don't know why they don't want to see more from him because I think he's a guy who can make the roster. I don't know where he was drafted, but I mean, obviously the second rounders aren't locked to make the team. But I think that, I mean, are we completely sure there's not a scenario where he comes out and does play like 28 minutes? Like, why would you not give him? You know what I'm saying? If you projected him for 28 minutes, Rubes, like how many teams do you think you'd hit? There is a lot of value, but I just believe in the kid. Also.
I think the Mavericks guys are going to hit at a way higher clip. I think Wong would probably hit about 15 to 20%, which I think it seems right. These minutes weren't exactly great. And the whole rotation as a whole, I mean, even like Toshibwe got benched a little bit in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, the Dallas guys, you know, are going to play 30. And then you're going against, in this range, you're going against the Dallas guys and Hodge. I just think one of the Dallas guys, and then I definitely think Hodge gets there. So it just makes it a tough situation for Wong. He's going to be in my player pool for sure, but I wouldn't put him in a main team play.
Yeah, 100%. I know you touch on it in the playbook, but go ahead and talk about Propster and Lively. Those are two guys who got a huge minute boost last game for the Mavericks. They're actually like not completely priced out either. They're both below 7K. Both have a 30-plus point projection. Those two guys are going to hit many of your teams at all?
Yeah, for sure. Going to have them in the pool. I think they have a high upside for their 6K. Been calling for Derek Lively just to play 30. I said he'll walk into a double-double, and I think the blocks will come. And that's what we saw last game. We saw 11 and 10, 2 blocks. I still think there's even more block upside there. Wish he was kind of like priced like Prosper because he went for double-double, kind of had his like ceiling game, 28.5. I wish he shoot the 3 more. He's not really shown it, but apparently in workouts he was showing it. Prosper, the $500 savings can kind of get me there, and like I think he has a higher ceiling as we saw last game. Not that $500 savings matters today, with the pricing not mattering much. But probably Prosper, but I'll still have some Lively because like. I mean, look at what Greg Brown did yesterday. What do you have, 6 blocks? If Greg Brown can get 6 blocks in the summer league, I promise you Derek Lively can get 6 blocks. If he gets 6 blocks with 11 and 10, baby doll, that's a big score.
Yeah, 100%. And who do you guys think starts for Hardy? I think it's Taze Moore. Do you think it's Taze Moore?
Yeah, that's McKinley Wright randomly comes back. I don't know if he's been ruled out for sure. He's probably ruled out, but that's the only thing that would probably stop Taze from starting. Because Brandon Randolph almost got it.
Wright's out. He is out. King Chief posted into the chat.
I'd say it's Taze then.
And if you guys want any of the latest news, we try and get you the starters as soon as possible. It's always in our Discord here at Run Pure Sports. We got a great community. So just feel free to use code SUMMER33. You get you 33% off your first monthly or weekly subscription. Let's move on to the next game, Kurt. This is the Miami Heat versus the Denver Nuggets. The Miami Heat have been notorious for resting guys late, in the summer league, especially when they did it last year. Orlando Robinson was not even a lock to make the team at all last year, and he was benched or he was sat a whole quarter. He didn't even start these games. I'm worried that happens again, especially on the heels of a back-to-back where he just went nuclear last game. I think Orlando Robinson sits. This Denver side is incredibly interesting. I think this is a great game to target, especially on the Denver side, and you can get sneaky with Miami here. What do you think?
I agree. I think that they do. I think Jovic is probably not going to play. Boyer looked great yesterday. I will play Boyer, but I will say he kind of is dealing with an injury. It's why he didn't play the first couple. Even though he looked good, you never know what they do with him on a back-to-back. So the good thing is we'll have pivots. You can put Boyer in for whatever percentage you do if you're maxing. And then you just have so many pivots that it doesn't even matter. I think if we get confirmation he's starting, I really like him because the dude's just a winner, man. He just makes plays like all over the court. So another, like we mentioned before, there's a lot of mid 5K guards that can smash today. It's going to be a high scoring slate. The decisions will be made in the mid 5Ks, and it's what you want to do. What do you want to play all the chalk in the mid 5Ks, which is always hard to say for guys like the Dallas guards, or do you want to play like I think someone mentioned earlier, like he has Sasser or Wong. Sasser or Wong are like the pivots on front, some of the chalk 5K guys that I think can obviously in their nut game get there and outscore these chalky dudes, but it's just what you want to do. And I'm going to put Boyer to that list. Jamal Cain had a good game. I think that was his ceiling game. He's obviously said he's working on his defense more summer league. So I don't really know if he's going to be able to do 2 nut offensive games. And man, Denver's where you want to go. I mean, you could probably play two of the 3 studs for Denver, which is Pickett, which for me is Pickett, Tyson, and Strother. All are going to play like 30 minutes. Denver's been awesome with these rotations, and they all are very aggressive, which is awesome.
Yeah, 100%. And this Denver side is going to be absolutely amazing. You said it last game was just an absolute printer for this Denver side if you had them. Because Peyton Watson sat, it was late news, but I know someone had Hunter Tyson who ended up starting and absolutely going nuclear. You had guys like Pickett, Strother, huge minutes.
So all these guys have been starting. It was just like the usage being gone. Like Tyson's been crushing all summer league. And if you look at
the bench though, Tyson was off the bench before last game. Yeah.
He started one game this year. Who was he started? No.
He started the last game they played, but he's been off the bench otherwise. He 24 minutes off the bench though, usually. But now these minutes are more secure.
I'm so confused. Who the hell was starting for Denver?
It was Peyton Watson, Kamagate. Kamagate was starting.
They were still starting that guy?
Yeah. So
but do you know what Tyson's contract is? They gave him $7.5 million.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they gave him a good contract, which is crazy. They bring him off the bench. He's awesome.
Yeah, I do want to make a mention real quick. I think Orlando Robinson sits. You guys will see that in the projections. There is a 4K center. He played yesterday. I am not sure if he's going to start, but I am projecting him in. You talk about wanting to get different in your teams with you didn't have these 5K guys or anything like that. I could see Brandon McCoy starting at Stone Min for the Miami Heat. He hasn't had great numbers historically overall ever since coming out of college or anything like that. But he is a guy who's 4K. Maybe he gets 25 minutes, gets 30 DK. He's a big dude. He has a decent PPM, just never played much in the G League as well. So especially interesting to look at a different build that has a 4K center when there's hardly any 4K centers that are viable here. Kamagate didn't play. I don't know. Is Kamagate in today, Kurt? That's some news.
Bro, I'm so amazed. I've been playing Hunter Tyson all summer league thinking he started.
Oh, good.
I've been risking DMPs playing this guy all summer league. And, like, obviously I've lucked out, but I'm so amazed. Kamagate didn't play last game? That's interesting. He's actually priced decently now, but he's not really – even last year, he just wasn't really a good fantasy point per minute guy. Even if he's back, I still really love the other 3 guys. Maybe they cut his ass. Rubio, you froze. Am I froze? Oh no. Oh, power went out. Ouchies. Okay. Well, let's go on to the next game. Like I said, I really like the Denver guys, and I think the Miami guys you can all pivot. The guards, what I do is I'm going to play Drew Smith because he's the more expensive one. I think Drew Smith or Boyer play. So in the lineups I want to play Boyer, I'm just going to play Smith. When I get confirmation, because I feel like Boyer is more of a risk to not play, I'll just say, okay, obviously Boyer is in. Let me just go down from the Drew Smith lineups. That's just the safest way to do it if you're MMEing. Or just even in cash builds too. What do you say? Remove me from stream. Oh, okay. There he goes. I didn't know how to do that, so that's nice. I'll go ahead and dig into San Antonio. I think similar to Miami situation, I think San Antonio might do a little bit of shady shit here because they've already played before coming to Vegas. They played 3 games in Cali or Salt Lake City, and all their guys played decent minutes. So do we want to get another look at some other people, maybe like Surabian Rice, who will make it his debut at 4K today, who I am liking a stab on. I love the guy's game in college. Similar to like Craig Porter yesterday, except maybe more of, even though Craig Porter was playmaking, but a little more of a playmaking skills for Surabian because he likes having the ball in his hands, whereas Craig Porter is a lot better spot-up shooter. And then Detroit, like Oscar Thompson has to be in consideration at 9.5 if they run the same lineup out. It's going to be him and like one other guy that played 30 minutes, and then it's going to be like a 15-man gross ass rotation. So that's also what doesn't make me like Oscar, because maybe they gave him like 22 minutes. So with that being said, if you get confirmation, San Antonio is fine to go to. Like Barlow is going to probably go for his normal 30, but has no chance of getting you 40, which I hate for GPPs. Blake Wesley's fine. Branham. I don't honestly, God, I don't trust Champagne, Branham, or Wesley. I'm sure they play, but I'm not very confident in it. For me, this game is going to be the sneaky Surabian Rice 4K min play. And look who is back.
Yeah, there we go. I'm back.
Oh, Sasser. I forgot about Sasser and Roden.
What are you on now, Kurt? You on Denver? Detroit, San Antonio?
Yes. I just gave my Detroit takes. I think Oscar Thompson, Sasser, and Roden are in play. Sasser, he played pretty bad and still had a nut game. So, like, he played very, very bad and still got 32 last game. That's got to be considered.
Yeah, Sasser. Didn't they get overtime in that game there?
Did they? I was cooking while that game was going, the end of that game.
I don't know. I felt like there was. I don't know if there was or not. It might have been the other game too. But yeah, I saw that they kind of had a rotation that was kind of scary to kind of mess with for the most part until that second half, where guys like Sasser, Thompson, and even Roden both played a really good minutes there. And both are all 3 of those guys are someone to target on the Detroit side of things. And then San Antonio, you don't like Sissoko's projection, but he's cheap. 5.1K is not terrible at all. But I like guys like Blake Wesley without Branham in. Champagne, do the Champagne stack today. That'll be something that you do. Dominic Barlow at 7.5K. There's a lot of guys I like here on San Antonio for the most part.
Well, my thing was I'm not trusting like San Antonio. I'm not sure what they do because they've already played 3 games, and all these guys have played. So I obviously play them. You can play them. If they play, they're fine. I would just be prepared and be around your phone if you're playing these San Antonio guys because I want to monitor these teams who have played games already.
Yeah, 100%. I get it. I don't think like they would be going away from this rotation too much. With Brandon missing out, like all these guys have been playing good minutes. So I'll butt heads against you there. I'm going to have a lot of San Antonio tonight. At least one guy in most of my lineups. Probably a lot of Champagne and Wesley.
That's fine because you can. I think it's very, very unlikely that all of them set, and you can just play the most expensive one and swap down to whichever one that plays. Sure. I think we could just see one of them set. That's all I'm saying.
Did you already talk about Oscar Thompson?
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. We'll go ahead and move on then to Utah and Phoenix. The one stud of the slate that is truly that we know is going to play. Davison might, start and everything, but Agbaji, it's really hard to avoid him. And the dude, we have so much value. I love the small forward eligibility. That's a huge deal. It's Agbaji and everyone else to me on the Utah side of things. And then Tumani Kamara should be back. He sat on the second leg of a back-to-back last time out. He should be back here. And literally, those are the only 2 guys that I even care about in these 2 games. In this game right here. I just love Kamara and I love Agbaji, and that's it from these 2 teams.
Really?
Yes. What do you got for me?
Not much more. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm not. I think Phoenix is more of a night play. On the playbook, if you're playing the night slate, I gave my Phoenix guys that should be in your pool, and I ranked them how I would because obviously you're forced to play them on that 2-gamer. Samancic, I just think they're kind of easing back with the injury, and now they have a chance to close undefeated. I think we could see about 25, 26, 27 minutes, and the guy is being an absolute fantasy point per minute monster. Where if you do get that slight bump, I think the ceiling is the roof for Luka Samancic. He's a pretty good player. I like the guy's game. And then Colby, you just have to kind of talk about Colby Ross. He's going to get the usage bump from Keontae being out. Played 26 minutes last game. Has started Started last game. I don't know if he started all the games, but 3 of 12 shooting, 1 of 6 from behind the arc, and he's 5'5". Definitely a night slate play, but also another mid 5K guy that if you want to get different, I think Colby Ross is going to give up the same amount of shots because that void with Keontae George being gone. I mean, Johnny Juzang can't take all the shots in his place, and he was already getting up a lot of shots. So I think that leaves room for Colby to get up 10 plus again.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I guess I should comment on Colby Ross. I don't trust Micah Potter's minutes at 8.3K. I think it's going to be tough for him to get above 30 minutes at all. He only got 23 minutes last game. Yeah, Colby Ross, he's had a great point per minute thing here in the Summer League. So that's definitely a good shout. Johnny Juzang went off, but I think with Agbaji there, I don't know, 6.1K is a lot for Juzang, I think, tonight. Yeah, I think the Phoenix thing, especially on the night slate, like, I'll say this. I think Kamara is going to come in like a little bit underowned. I think people see that game log. They saw he didn't play last game. I really like him for tournaments here because he's also small forward eligible. When you pull up the whole slate, just in general, you have guys like Castleton, who we'll get to here in a second, but really the top 3 point per dollar guys, or, points wise, are Kamara, Agbaji, and Castleton. I don't want guys like Maxwell Lewis. I mean, maybe you can convince me on Julian Strawther, but then you're trying to convince me on Keyshawn Justice, Keyshawn Justice started last game. I guess I shouldn't slander that man. 4.8.
He's been playing well, but like it's nighttime, night slate play. I mean, it's a night slate play.
Well, what if I told you I had like Ferran Hunt absolutely just hit almost like 40% of my teams yesterday, and even EJ Liddell both had projections sub 20. And the reason that is because forward is usually terrible. It's not that much better today. I think there's definitely better options than there was yesterday. But if you're seeing Keyshawn Justice, I guess I shouldn't disparage the Utah name because I do like Agbaji, I do like Kamara in this game. But Justice, Colby Ross, those are two guys that probably make a little bit of sense. And especially with forward being so bad, like Justice is going to make quite a bit of sense. Any thoughts on that? Just being cheap forwards wise, are they hitting your teams lately?
I think Ferran Hunt did. I think they all are. Yeezy asked about Hale. I mean, I'll keep Justice in my pool because he's actually looked pretty decent. Hale, I'm not playing him on the 6-gamer. I kind of think it's very sketchy. Like, what if this is the game Pender randomly comes back? Like, I don't really believe. I think Hale was an outlier performance, but on the night slate, like I mentioned in the playbook, I think a night slate play for Hale, and that's it. I wouldn't play him in the main. I don't really like. Are you really gonna trust a guy you just don't know? I'm not. For 1 game sample, I'm not.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you there. I think, especially with Kamara back, that's going to hurt Hale quite a bit.
Yep.
Let's talk about Memphis and the Los Angeles Lakers. This is 2 teams that have run pretty good rotations for us. You seem to think that the Memphis Grizzlies are going to be in tonight. That includes Lofton, Roddy, Laravia. And then for the Lakers, you have a great rotation, but we have one small caveat. Bobby's favorite player, there he is in the chat too, Max Christie, is going to miss tonight. That opens up quite a few minutes for this rotation. So you have guys like Castleton, Swider, Demoy Hodge, the absolute hero, Jalen Hood-Scafino. I mean, there's a lot of guys here on the Lakers too. We can't just neglect them, but a juicy game to end things.
Yeah, it's a really good one. I like the flexibility that it gives us. Like you can, I think the Memphis guys played. I mean, they're 1-2. I don't think the front office and coaches have really seen what they wanted to from the summer league team. I think they've all kind of underwhelmed a little bit. With this like roster and these 3 guys, they should definitely be 2-1 at the minimum, and they're 1-2. It's kind of embarrassing. They either go 1 of 2 ways, and they're just like, all right, you guys, very underwhelming. Let's just shut them all down. I don't think that happens. I think they just keep pushing them out there for 30 minutes. I don't think any of them are really, besides maybe Jake, maybe right. I don't know if Roddy. Yeah, Roddy was on the team last year too, but I still think they're on the bubble if something happens, if a trade goes down or some shit. So I think they all play again, and the flexibility comes into play as far as if they don't play. It's simple. You just go down to Castleton. You go down to JHS. I don't think I'm going to have much JHS out the gate, but I think he'll be someone that I pivot down to if some of these Memphis guys are out. Obviously, I love Swider. We know that. Hodge is going to be one of the highest owned plays. That's fine. And then, honestly, like if all 3 Memphis guys sat too, I'll leave 4K salary and play freaking G.G. Jackson. So I think that's the beauty of playing some of these Memphis guys. Bobby, you're on mute. And Bobby, give it up with the Christie thing. I know he went for 50, but he's out. The dude, why are you playing a summer league game after a nuke like on that hip? The dude is out. Come on.
I will say this. I don't know if Hodge is going to come in that highly owned. I think there's a lot of really good 5K guards, and Hodge hasn't been really that impressive. He's been good, don't get me wrong, but a lot of this has to do with him hitting his shots from downtown. He went to the corner as that game was ending a lot. He just went into the corner the entire time, and he was kind of just, left there, right? I don't love that for my fantasy players. I want guys who are ball dominant. I want these Mavericks guards, and Hodge, he's shot the ball incredibly well to only have like 31 DK, right? I don't think he's going to be that high on. I don't really love him tonight. I mean, the projections will show that once I post them too. Thoughts overall on the slate? Let's give your play of the day, Kurt. Let's go ahead and do that. What's your play of the day for the slate?
So Scottie Pippen Jr., he has a pretty bad ankle sprain the couple of days before the summer league started. So I don't think they've not really completely ruled it out yet, but I don't expect Scottie Pippen to just come back randomly. But I guess it's always on the table with Christie out. Maybe if the ankle's healed. But last I've heard, it's very unlikely. But like Bobby just said with Christie, not officially ruled out for summer league. I don't think. Overall, I'm going to go Sasser for the play. The loaded mid fives. He was tilting some of the people in chat the other day, but still got the 32. So the ceiling is the roof with him. Marcus Sasser, 5,900.
Yeah, I love it. I'm also going to go to not a mid-tier guard. He's a little bit cheaper, but he's my favorite play on the slate if he starts. And we should hopefully get news. I'm tired of these overtime games leading off the slate. So Taze Moore for the Dallas Mavericks. He's a stat sheet stuffer. He's a guy who's really going to get the job done for us tonight. I'm expecting another run pure leaderboard. Bobby, he was so close last night. The stat correction at 3 a.m. hurt, but it was great to see him up top. I hope he does it again. If not, I hope I'm ahead of him. Or if not, I hope you're ahead of him, Kurt. So it should be a great time. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. Sorry about my power going out just briefly there to flicker out. But if you guys have any questions at all, make sure to hop in our Discord. We'll answer anything. We'll get it done fast. I'm going to post the early slate CSV into our Discord here in about 5 minutes. And I'll also post the main slate CSV here soon. So have a great day, everyone, and bye-bye.